What police state? Undercover cops bust teens for selling bottled water. By the Free Thought Project, June 24, 2017. Daily Sheeple, lemonade stands, paper routes, and bake sales seem yet destined for the dustbin of history, thanks to an imperious state, which to its sanctimonious detriment manages to pull off seemingly impossible PR predicaments of its own making, like the handcuffing of teenagers for selling bottled water on the National Mall without a permit Thursday evening. Yes. Seriously. Perched atop chains interlinking fence posts lining the walk near Smithsonian Castle, 3 justifiably perplexed black youth, wrists in handcuffs behind their backs, can be seen speaking with U.S. Park Police, bottles of water resting in an evidence bin, nearby. Tweeted by tour guide, Tim Krepp, as he passed the scene, photos of the 3, aged 16 and 17, would appear to any casual observer without context to be a possible apprehension of at least petty criminals, not the 3 kids hawking bottled water for a few extra dollars to willing Washington, D.C., tourists on a hot day, that the incident actually was. U.S. News reports, a spokeswoman for the U.S. Park Police, Sergeant Anna Rose, confirms 3 teenagers were detained for vending without a license, but says she feels this has gotten blown out of proportion. The 3 teens, ages 16 and 17, were detained for illegally selling water but were not charged, Rose says. They were held until their parents arrived. A 4th individual was immediately released after officers determined he was uninvolved, she says. Read more, "You're lucky we didn't shoot him," racist cops assault boy with Down syndrome and his parents. For good measure, rather, to deflect the flying conflagration of a rightfully livid backlash hurled in her department's direction, Rose added, "This was not some hours-long ordeal. That's not the point. None of that is the point, even though the unnamed, plainclothes officers did not charge the adults in making with the crime of not possessing the state's permission slip to vend water on the apparently sacrosanct National Mall. Of course this incident whipped the internet into a fury. These are kids selling sealed bottles of water in the summer to willing customers voluntarily. There should be anger as well as indignation, sadness, frustration, vitriol, and action. In fact, perhaps the sole positive development in this affair is that the collective American rage against this absurdity categorically hemorrhaged at the modern portrait of the childhood lemonade stand, its young vendors in the shackles of a police state, nanny state, and an infinitesimally legislated one altogether, summoning bloody echoes from 2 centuries of injustice, the spectacle sardonically unfolding in the taxpayer-bloated belly of the beast that is the nation's capital. Of course, capping off a week of news mangling every sense of justice, logic, peace, and cooperation only a few of us harbored anyway. Of course the scene lit fires under the seats of the otherwise preoccupied. Placing handcuffs around the wrists of teenagers whose only conceivable guilt lies in the breaking of a code enacted inarguably solely for profit by the district, handily cements several theories on the surreptitious arrival of fascism in America. To paraphrase a recently viral meme, if you think you're free in this country, ask yourself what you can do that isn't taxed, regulated, or licensed. Clearly, selling bottled water on Washington's stately, pun intended, National Mall isn't an option, nor is selling lemonade. Of course, both of those lowly pursuits would also be verboten in most places in the nation. California shut down a little girl's lemonade stand when authorities found the puny perpetrator remiss in securing a $200 permit, and in need of around $3,500 to bring the stand into compliance with government mandates for continued operation. But don't think the issue here pertains only to wares sold without the state dipping its hand in the offender's pockets for tax. No, giving away water or lemonade won't necessarily work either. Florida harbors a sizable homeless population, given its warmer climate and voluminous beaches, but an epidemic threatens everyone without a house, the stomping out of charitable work, in numerous arrests of people providing them with food. Feed the homeless, pay a fine, and it's the same from a lengthening list of state legislatures, which should not only be ashamed, but fired. History's legendary human rights advocates tell us to disobey unjust, unethical, and immoral laws for a sound reason far beyond just that it's the right thing to do. Unjust laws beget the same, and more so, ad infinitum. Giving an inch allowing ineffectual, misbegotten codes, laws, and regulations to accumulate, unaddressed results only in the taking of miles by the state. We did this, all of us were responsible for the spectacle of 3 black youth detained in cuffs for selling water. Water. It's time to stop pretending such a scenario facsimilizes anything even approaching acceptable. Overcriminalization of everyday life has so invaded mundanity this nation has forgotten its free-spirited and freedom-cherishing soul for the worst. It would be unfortunately optimistic to hope images of the 3 teen water sellers in cuffs would be a watershed moment the instant Americans knew that, for security and ease, liberty has been tossed overboard, but that won't happen. Tragically, outrage has a short fuse, but apathy and complacency are the bedrock of a totalitarian state. Encapsulating everything humorous and not so much, Rose explained. Vending on the National Mall is illegal without a permit. The National Park Service has a whole office dedicated to permitting.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head, help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.